G'day and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to use an existing team created by another player. This is Cecily's Meganium Dragonite team. So we can see we're very synergized with rain. So we can see the hurricane in rain doesn't miss. We can see electroshot with Archeludon, and we've got the rain to protect Meganium from fire damage, and we're also leveraging the rain to benefit Basculegion. And then, yeah, we've got Sneasel there as a bit of a counter for situations and having options with Fake Out. I've just used the spreads from the poker paste, which I will put in the description below. There's a myriad of different teams we could jump around and play to. So if you want to see your team piloted by me, leave it in the comments below and we'll see what we can do. Otherwise, this was the team that got me to Masterball last league, so we'll see if it's the team to get us to Masterball this league. Let's get stuck into it. Our first opponent is against Nova. So almost a mirror match. I mean, I've got the Pelipper, the Archeludon, so they could be doing similar style moves to what we're looking at. So the advantage of this team is you can lead with things like Archeludon and Basculegion and have Pelipper in the back. And then if we're going for rain, do we Dragonite or Meganium? I think Meganium, assuming that's Mega for Alligator, and it'll go into Dragon. It gives us coverage against the Garchomp as well. But yeah, we're just going to be losing out to the Glamora and the Sneasler. So I think maybe actually Dragonite might be the better play. So let's go with that. So there's obviously a few adjustments we could be making to this team. They run a bold defensive Pelipper with Focus Sash. Obviously no speed investment to try and get slower weather on the board. So there's options to play around with there. Plus we've got Adamant Basculegion instead of Jolly. So we'll lose to the Speed Tire in that scenario. So we're probably... You wouldn't be expecting a turn 1 Earthquake from Garchomp unless the Glamora is going to Spiky Shield. So this might be an opportunity to... Let's get a Dragon Pulse, and we might Flip Turn, and just to scout to see what they're going to do. See, Flip Turn gives us the option to, if they're going to stay in, and we've got Mega Glamora, so potential for a Mega Glamora Spiky Shield here. Garchomp's more likely to go on the offensive, and we can see it's Choice Scarfed because it's outsped our Choice Scarf Basculegion. But we'll get the Flip Turn in there, and then we'll be able to set up the rain next turn. So do we Pelipper? Yeah, if we get Dragonite in at the moment, we need to try and deal with this Garchomp. So let's get Pelipper in. That'll set up the rain. And they're just going to Earth Power our Archeludon, which will KO it. So yeah, Archeludon, the Breaking Swipe to get rid of Sturdy. So unfortunately, a little bit at a disadvantage there. But we can switch Basculegion back in. We're in the rain now. So we're going to be able to do a bit more damage. The very fast Garchomp is certainly threatening us at the moment. So I think we Flip Turn again and we try and set up our Tailwind. Hopefully with the Focus Sash we should have enough in the tank to be able to do that. Although that's going to break the Sash. Basculegion's low on life, but we can set that up to be the last Respect Sweeper late game. So if we can get the Tailwind off here, we're in a pretty good position. Mortal Spin. Okay, let's put a poison on Dragonite, and that's going to break our multi-scale. Interesting. But at least we should be able to get the Tailwind up now, so now we've got a bit of coverage or threatening back. So now we have an option to Draco Meteor the Garchomp, but it's going to lower our attack stages by 2. They could just as easily... No, they're stuck into Breaking Swipe, so we'll finish that off, and we will Weather Ball the Glamora, I think is the play. We've got a bit of speed control back now. Hopefully we're still faster, or we're now faster than the Garchomp. And we are, so this will pick up the Garchomp, and then hopefully a Stab Weather Ball in the rain will pick up Glamora. But yeah, we're no speed investment, so there's every chance that the Glamora could go first, but doesn't. So let's see how much damage this does, and KOs. Okay, so, I mean, we are double poisoned, but we've got speed control now, and you can see how pivotal speed control can be. So we'll see what they had in the back. Because, yeah, we've still got now our Choice Scarf Basculegion in the back. So it is the Archeludon and the Pelipper. So they're going to go for some Electro Shots now. I don't see why you wouldn't. So we need to try and shut down their weather before they can set their Tailwind up. So I reckon we just double Hurricane the Pelipper. Hopefully it doesn't protect. They've gone for an Archeludon Protect. And so we should be able to pick up the KO here through Focus Sash. Yep, as we expect, that's where the Sash would be. Tailwind's giving us an advantage at the moment. Pelipper's on double speed. Their Pelipper's even confused, but again, yeah, double Hurricane in the rain, 100% accurate. And now it's 3 Poison Mond and a Basculegion versus Archeludon. So yeah, the pivotal turn for us was that Tailwind. So now we'll go Draco Meteor. We want to get some damage on the board. And yeah, we can go with either or. I think Tailwind's sufficient. It has a higher base power. Even in the rain, Weather Ball's doing just over 100. So may as well try for confusion. But that is a big Draco Meteor. Not a crit. So that's just the power of a special attacking Mega Dragonite. And yeah, that'll clean up, and that'll be our first win. Excellent. So yeah, the team's got very high synergy with the rain. We obviously are going to be mindful against other weather teams. But we were not in a good position, and then speed control took us back. So we'll take the win from our last session. We'll carry our 2-win streak with us into the next game. So yeah, you can obviously lead with Pelipper Archeludon and just straight into Electroshot, or you can do what we did then and just sort of have those options when you're not quite sure, especially if they've got like a fake out, because they're not going to be able to fake out Basculegion unless they've got Scrappy. But we're in it again, and this very much looks like a Trick Room team. So we won't be Tailwinding here. It's going to be difficult. We're not going to be able to fake out either. So maybe Dragonite's not in a great position here. I think we're definitely going to Mega Meganium turn 1. Question is, the rain's just going to help them with Sizzle. So I don't know if Basculegion early game's going to be overly helpful, or our Sneasler, because we need to try and get rid of their Farragaff. We definitely want to be trying to fire turn 1. I reckon Basculegion, Sneasler. Yeah, we're at a huge disadvantage here. Let's go Archeludon. because yeah, we don't have any firepower except for our weather ball. So that Scizor is going to cause us no end of problems. They've also got the Torkoal with the fire, which is interesting. So that they've got a different mode if they try and play it a bit different, but we're both on 2 win streaks, so only one of us can come out with a 3. Okay, so they're leading with Drampa for Farigiraf. They are gambling that we don't have a way. I wonder how that works with Mega Meganium. But we're going to Dazzling Gleam in case they don't protect with the Drampa, which I don't see why they wouldn't. We gamble. I reckon let's see what a Solar Beam with Drampa on the field does. And then, yeah, I reckon we just try and Wave Crash the Farigiraf. Double into it. They could ally switch. We've not seen that in the format in a while. But it is out there and something that can muck you up. But I'm keen to see what a Mega Soul interaction, although they've just Mega Evolved their Drampa, so we'll see that change to Berserk. So when it gets low on hit points, it'll do a bit more damage, but we can see a Wave Crash. Ooh, almost enough. So yeah, Dazzling Gleam would have been the better choice here. But we've gone for Solar Beam, and that'll connect. Because yeah, now there's no Drampa weather. So that just shuts down their Trick Room. So good to note for future that that's going to be our counter. I was expecting to see the Sinistra come out. So we would have maybe like last respects on the Sinistra. But then we wouldn't have had enough for the Farigiraf. But they've gone for Calm Mind, so it's a bit scarier now. But we're just going to Weather Ball the Sinistra. And we're locked into Wave Crash now. Might be a good opportunity to switch our Sneasler in. That gives us options for Fake Out. And then, yeah, we're not blocked by Iron Armor Tail, which prevents priority moves. So, yeah, in comes Sneasler. We get our Weather Ball off. This should do big fire damage. Oko the Sinistra. Righto. So we'll get to see what a Calm Mind Drampa can do. Continue to Calm Mind, apparently. So 2 down, 2 to go. Drampa's probably wondering where all my friends went. But it's going to be a 4v Drampa soon. Okay, so in comes Torkoal. So we want to try and Dazzling Gleam. That gets some chip on both. We worried overly of what the Torkoal's going to do a big fire damage, so maybe it would have been good to get our Pelipper in. But we're going to block the fire damage. Yeah, we'll block the fire damage. So we'll shut the Torkoal down. We'll do a Dazzling Gleam. We'll see how much this does to their Drampa. Under a couple of Calm Minds, not doing too much. Then we see Drampa with the Hyper Voice. Big damage on the Sneasler. So now we kind of got to wait out the sun, and our Basculegion should be able to take the Torkoal out. So this is our time to get our Kelyodon in. And we could double into the Drampa here. They could all predict that we're going to double into the Drampa. We could try and stall out a turn. Because how many they've got? We got a fair few turns, so I mean we can try and stall out. They could do some more Calm Mind, which would put us at a disadvantage. So I reckon we'll survive a Hyper Voice from Drampa if they go for it. So let's just put some damage on this Torkoal. Another Dazzling Gleam. Even picks up the KO on Torkoal. So yeah, Drampa, a couple Calm Mind, 37%. Another Hyper Voice isn't going to knock out our Duraludon. We've got Sturdy. Yeah, we see another Hyper Voice, so big damage on the Archeludon, but we're now threatening with Dragon Pulse, and we won't be able to use our last respects, unfortunately. But we can do decent damage with a Wave Crash, I reckon, even in the sun. We only need to do 37%, and it's going to be Fizz too, so Wave Crash should clean this up if Dragon Pulse does not. See, I think the turn one there where they just protected and bet that Trick Room would go off certainly worked against them, unfortunately. That did not do a lot of damage. Although it's Hyper Voice locked to normal. But we get the Dragon Pulse off. +2 special defense, yeah, 18%. KO. Second win. So yeah, sometimes you don't need Taunt, you just need big damage on giraffes. And there goes Dork Vader, ending their 2-win streak and carrying us to a 3-win streak. So yeah, we've also got obviously some meta picks in. I mean, the Sneasel really didn't do much that fight, except, you know, block the Torkoal a turn. But the Basculegion is just an absolute wrecking force. So, I mean, we could have just as easily brought Rain and Basculegion in the back to clean up, but I think we navigated that okay. On to the next match. So every time I see a Whimsicott lead, I kind of have to Sneasler Pelipper, because that kind of stops them from setting up their own Tailwind. And they've got a Basculegion, which puts us at a disadvantage if they're Jolly Choice Scarf. But we're gonna... What are we gonna do? Because they've also got Kingambit and Glamora. So what's our play? Do we Meganium? I think Meganium gives us decent coverage, except for the Charizard. But we do have Rain. We could try Basculegion lead with Pelipper in the back and Meganium, and we'll leave Dragonite and Archeludon in the back, because I don't think they're overly going to be able to do a lot. Leading with Basculegion. I think that's okay. They've got a few options to lead. I'm obviously expecting the Whimsicott will be able to shut it down turn 1. And then if we need to, we can get Pelipper in turn 2 Tailwind. So Whimsicott and Glamora. So, we'll try fake out the Whimsicott. I'd expect the Glamora to be Earth powering our Sneasler. So we'll try and flip turn off it into our Pelipper to set the Rain. And then that'll give us some options for next turn, depending what they do. Although if they Spiky Shield on Glamora, it's going to block our flip turn, and we're going to be, I guess, not stuck. Oh, so we see the Protect, righto. So that's blocking the Fake Out and the Spiky Shield. Okay, so just fully shut down our turn 1. So yeah, we see the Flake Out, and then into the Spiky Shield, so that'll do a bit of damage to us. So now, do we try and close comp? No, I reckon we Diaclaw the Whimsicott. We put a bit of pressure, and again we try. Or do we just Wave Crash it? Because they've just. I reckon we just Wave Crash into that slot. Nah, we flip turn. Because they could just as easily pivot out. They've encored us, so that's going to shut down our Fake Out. Okay, so that's okay, because that will still allow us to flip turn off the Glamora, do big damage, see if it's Focus Sash, or to just survive on 1%. Wow, even Adamant 32 flip turn. This allows us to bring our Pelipper in and threaten with a bit of Tailwind, although they're going to Encore us. So something to keep in mind. Whether they saw that switch or not and Power Gemmed. So yeah, it's going to force us to switch our Sneasler out. So it'll be a question of whether they read that or not, or whether they have an answer to it. I think we've got a Basculegion again, and we'll Hurricane the Whimsicott. We're going to forfeit our speed control here, but if we Tailwind, they could just as easily Encore us. So we're getting heavily manipulated in turn 1. But yeah, if we bring Basculegion back out, Sneasler can come back at another time and threaten Fake Out. The Spikes gives us poison. They could Energy Ball here, but they're just going to Tailwind, so they might Power Gem our Pelipper again, but then we're just back where we started if we bring our Sneasler back in. This is becoming very tricky to navigate. I reckon that's alright. So if we bring Sneasler in, but we don't bait, we don't take the bait. So again, we'll flip turn and we'll Diaclaw. They could just as easily double protect here, and again, most likely thing that they do. Yeah, so Whimsicott and Glimmora is quite a bit of a shield. They've navigated our strategy quite well, but they're not going to be able to lock us into Fake Out this time. So we'll stick with the flip turn. We'll stick with the Diaclaw. Because, yeah, I don't think there's overly much they can do. But, yeah, Focus Sash is going to keep Whimsicott alive. The poor damage roll we did on Glimmora is going to keep Glimmora alive. So, yeah, I think we've definitely got outplayed turn 1 there. But let's see what they decide to do now. Because they could just as easily swap out, but no, they go for the Earth Power. That'll do enough damage, or do a bit of damage, but keep us alive. So we'll be able to... No, we got Moonblast. So the Tailwind, again, not having that Jolly might have, been the deciding factor then. But at least we'll get our flip turn off. So we can bring Mega Meganium in, even if it is going to be heavily or poisoned. Because, yeah, now we've got more Toxic Spikes. So something to consider going forward, a Glimmora Whimsicott lead. That seems tough to get around, but we'll get our Meganium out. We'll get poisoned, but we'll at least get the Diaclaw off and see if this is Focus Sashed. It's not. Righto. So that'll go down. And then it's 2v3. And yeah, we still got our Basculegion in the back. We can pull that out a bit later if we need to. Or I guess we'll see what their last two are and we'll try and make a strategy around it. So they've got Garchomp and Charizard. Yeah, so they're just going to Heat Wave here in the sun. And there's not a lot we can do about that. Although they've only got one turn of Tailwind left. So yeah, obviously we're going to protect and protect. I mean, we'll take a bit of extra poison damage, but at least they'll lose Tailwind. So we'll have a little bit of a chance, depending if that Garchomp's Choice Scarfed or not. If it's Choice Scarfed, I don't think there's much of a way out of this. Because, yeah, Heat Wave will certainly turn the weather, and then they'll just do big AoE damage. So we'll see what they decide to do. I'm expecting a Heat Wave. Depends if the Garchomp goes ahead of the Charizard as well. Be a good indicator that we're up against Choice Scarf. Garchomp goes out first. Earthquake Fire is going to be probably a KO from us. So knocking them out at the same time probably was an advantage to my opponent. Because they're now free just to lock into Earthquake, which is obviously going to do big damage to us. So, I mean, they could still miss. But the likelihood is... so, I mean, if we could get our White Herb and we could get our Unburden on our Sneasler, we'd be able to outspeed them. But there's nothing on their side. So the only hope we've got now is they miss on a Heat Wave, which is still a possibility. So we'll ride it out. But I think they might have outled us in this battle. Deciding whether to Heat Wave or not. Alright, so yep, we get our Mega Meganium. See if it can survive a Heat Wave or an Air Slash. We get our Close Combat off. That's big damage on the Garchomp. We do get our White Herb, but unfortunately we're not living in Earthquake. And there's no mischance for Earthquake. So being jolly with a bit of speed there's useful. We should resist this on Mega Meganium, but it'll also be a single target Heat Wave. So again, could miss, and that would hugely work in our favor. It'd be able to turn the tide of battle. But does it miss? Oh, they just Weather Ball. Fair enough. Yeah, that doesn't miss. And that'll KO us. And then, yeah, we've got a poisoned Basculegion in the back. We'd be able to take down one, but not the other, unfortunately. Because, yeah, they'd be able to Weather Ball unless the sun ends. Sun's not ending. Yeah, we've got a few turns of sunlight to go. So, yeah, we would last respects the Charizard. So this would be good scouting whether a non-Jolly Basculegion under Choice Scarf. Well, they've just decided to protect. Okay. Oh, double protect. So they're just scouting. Fair enough. So yeah, they've seen we've done that. They might be also just waiting at the poison. But if we attack the Garchomp right now, we get rough-skinned, and that'd be enough to clean us up. But again, I still want to scout whether Basculegion Adamant is going to be faster than their Garchomp. If they only protected once, then that'd be great. But they could just keep trying to double protect, because there's no way I can take 2 out this turn. And I'm taking 16 damage next turn. We are faster, so that's okay. We do get the KO, but again, Rough Skin will take us out before the Charizard even gets a opportunity. No Rough Skin on a last respects. And the Weather Ball was enough. So, close-ish game. We just got, yeah, absolutely rickrolled on the opening. If only we didn't fake out. But the enticement was too rich. So that'll end our streak, but not a huge loss. We've still had pretty big game in Ultra Ball 2. Would Dragonite have been a better addition? Maybe. Just thinking, because we've got access to, I mean, if we can lift the air, there's a few ifs and buts and thens and whats. But we are mirror matching right now, except for they're running Politoed instead of Mega Meganium. And I think that's going to be our advantage. So we're going to... What are we going to do? We'll lead with Archeliodon, assuming they're going to bring the rain. And we'll Basculegion. And then we can... Mega Meganium does some good work here, except against... what do we got? Yeah, except against their Sneasler. So we just need to try and get rid of their Sneasler. But if we were to bring Dragonite... Okay, let's bring Pelipper. And I reckon Dragonite is going to be more useful in this encounter than Mega Meganium, funnily enough. Although I could definitely be wrong. because we've got some options for doing some electro shotting this game. Alright, so they're leading with Sneasler Dragonite. We went with Archeludon Basculegion. So we're not overly worried about our fake out. Do we switch? Do we stay? Do we try? And let's protect on Archeludon, because they're obviously threatening our with fake out. And we will try and flip turn to break their multi-scale, because that's going to help us next turn. So there's the Mega Dragonite. They could just as easily protect here and block our flip turn, but yep, we'll protect Archeludon for now. That allows us to get our flip turn off and break their multi-scale. And also gives away that we're choice scarfed. Now, do we bring the rain in now, or do we bring Dragonite in now? What were they going to target? What were they going to do? Were they going to go after... I don't think we can risk bringing it in, although it really sets us up if we do. Now let's bring Pelipper in, and we'll try and Tailwind. Because if we bring Dragonite then, and they decided to... so there's the close combat into Archeludon. And Draco Meteor. Yeah, so if we brought Dragonite in there, we would have been absolutely kicking ourselves, but we've got Pelipper in. We survived with the Focus Sash. So they're not going to be able to do much damage next time. We're expecting potentially another close combat into the Archeludon. So let's get the Basculegion in and have a go at setting up Tailwind or Protect for a turn. I reckon we try for Tailwind. Do we try this turn or next turn? We've got... Let's protect a turn. Let's pivot. So yeah, this will cover for another close combat. Protect with Pelipper. We'll see what they were going to go for. So yeah, close combat doesn't affect Basculegion. Okay, so yeah, we could have had a free Tailwind there, but we played it a little too cautiously. That's fine. Let us try and... Let's Wave Crash the Sneasler, and we'll Tailwind. So yeah, with the Draco Meteor, the Ice Beam, not quite sure what the Dragapult's going to do next turn, but at least the Wave Crash will just get rid of the Sneasler. We could lose our Basculegion here, but just as easily. Yeah, okay, so good. Survives, and we get Tailwind. So we're at again, stealing that speed control is hugely pivotal mid-game and early game. So, I mean, our Basculegion was already faster, but if our Basculegion goes down in the next couple of turns, our Dragonite's going to be coming in much faster. So we're locked into Wave Crash. They're likely going to try and set up their own Tailwind this turn, but they could just as easily protect. But I don't see any negative of doubling the Pelipper. Even if they protect this turn and take one of us out, we'll still have speed control next turn, and we'll have our Dragonite in, or even Sneasler, to try and break their sash as well. So again, just trying to keep the pressure on. Dragonite at neg2 special attack is not overly threatening. Yeah, Wave Crash in the rain. Bit of damage, not overly effective, but again, yeah, we should be able to get rid of the Pelipper before it does any tailwinding of its own. So again, it's trying to maintain that speed control. And then we see another Draco Meteor. So they're at neg 4 now. So yeah, they pick up the KO, but they're not going to be able to do much for the remainder of the fight, of the battle. Because yeah, we can just as easily bring in Archeludon right now. And No, we need to do some Mega Evolvings, I think, for our weekly targets. So let's bring Dragonite in. We'll hit our Mega Evolve. Now we're threatening Draco Meteor on them. They're threatening Ice Beam back at us, but they're at Neg 4. I don't know why they would try and protect, so let's just keep the pressure on, and then, yeah, we'll split just in case they do protect. Get a bit of damage on their Archeludon. They could start going for the electro shots here. But we get our Draco Meteor off. We've broken their multi-scale. This should do big damage, and it does. So that'll get rid of it, and then it's 3v1. Let's see what their Archeludon can do, aka the bridge. We get a Hurricane off, which might confuse them, and that'll muck them up. But they get the defense, which doesn't impact us going forward. We do get the confusion. They're now 1 in 3 to just hit themselves instead of attacking, and they do. That's just insult to injury, really. I mean, our rain stopped, so our hurricanes are going to be less effective. So I think we, Draco Meteor again, we swap to get our Archeludon in. We preserve Pelipper and the rain and the hurricanes for a few extra turns, because we're going to need to swap out our Dragonite after a few Draco Meteors, so we'll need some options to be able to reset the stat drops, because yeah, now we're at neg 4, so I mean, it's decent damage, it's chipping away, but it's only getting worse. We have another 1 in 3 chance of confusioning, but they get their Draco Meteor off. Risky with the multi-scale. We obviously survived that because of the multi-scale. Because otherwise that would have been doing twice as much damage than it did. So it's always good to try and preserve your multi-scale. I mean, we lose the Tailwind, but let's reset our Dragonite. We're not really going to be electro-shotting, although the extra plus special attack might actually come in handy. So while we've got the rain up, let's get a few bonuses to our special attack. So Pelipper comes in, sets up the rain. We get our... So we are faster. So again, another little scout that we can do. We get the special attack increase. Not big damage, but pretty decent damage. Because that then sets us up for the Dragon Pulse next turn. Or they could just Confusion Punch himself? No. So, bit of a gamble on them to expect we were going to set the rain back up, unless they were just fishing. But yeah, it's pretty much closed out. Just going through the button presses at the moment. Yeah, we were on full health. Not much doing there. A little bit from our leftovers. They get a bit from their leftovers. So, I mean, they could protect here. But we're just going to try and finish this off and move on to the next battle. And they've just forfeited. Excellent. Saves us having to go through a turn of animations. Appreciate that. Thank you. Good game. Yeah, again, that pivotal Tailwind for us really sealed the deal. So if we can get another win, that'll get us to Ultra Ball rank 1. But we certainly have a higher win ratio with this team than we've had with previous teams. But you can see how important the ability synergy is over type synergy in doubles. But here we've got a very unique team. We can see the Decidueye, Zoroark, Lipard, Scizor, Aurorus, and the Aerodactyl. So I'm thinking we try and match their Tailwind with our Tailwind and their Fake Out with our Fake Out. I reckon Mega Meganium is going to be able to do a bit more work here than our Draco Meteor, because yeah, the Scizor is going to absolutely block us up. And then we're going to need our Basculegion, or are we going to need electricity? We're going to need speed. Yeah, we're going to have to dance around their Zoroark if they bring it with the Basculegion, but with the Archeludon, not so much. So I reckon that's the play. They're still thinking on their end. So yeah, I mean, they could do a Liepard Aerodactyl here. They could try and bring in their Zoroark to bait a Fake Out, which obviously wouldn't work. So with 2 seconds to go, they've made their decision. They've also got potentially a Tailwind on their Decidueye. So again, all the different things to consider. But yeah, they've gone with the Liepard Decidueye. Now the question is one of them Zoroark? So I reckon we don't bother too much with the Fake Out because their Liepard's just going to fake us out faster than we are. So we can try Diaclaw their Decidueye. I think we protect to preserve the Sash for next turn. But their Decidueye protects, so let's see if they're doing a similar play to us. We get the protect, but we also have to be mindful they've got Encore as well. But they just go for Psychic. Right. I don't think Liepard knows Psychic, because usually it's like foul play. So I'm going to assume that's the Zoroark. And we're going to bring in our Mega Meganium. So, yeah, they were covering. So we can Weather Ball. Well, actually, Dazzling Gleam picks up both. So we're going to Dazzling Gleam, and we're going to... They're going to Encore. No, they can't Encore because it's not actually a Liepard. Unless it is a Liepard. Oh, I don't know. Let's gamble. If it was Liepard, wouldn't you have Faked Out? It's a pretty good ploy. If it is the Zoroark that I think it is, it's a good ploy. But it might bite them this turn. So we'll see. They could also just as easily Tailwind and it'll even out if they're running Tailwind. But yeah, okay. So they had an interesting turn 1 play. They caught me out, which is what you get, like where you get your big advantage in ranked battles, because you only need to catch them out once, and that can sometimes, often, seal the deal. But we're going to be in a position to set up our Tailwind. We get the Dazzling Gleam out, which should do decent damage. I don't know if our no speed investment Meganium is going to be sufficient to do that again, but it worked first time. I don't see why we wouldn't try and do it a second time. And then, yeah, we obviously want to Weather Ball their Aerodactyl and see if we can, if one of us is faster than their Aerodactyl with no speed investment, it makes this very difficult. But the Dazzling Gleam was big damage then. Let's see if we can do that again under Tailwind this time. And then we'll see the Zoroark and the Liepard in the back. That is not going to be a very offensive end game, unfortunately. Oh yeah, so Decidueye protects. Let's see if anyone is faster than Aerodactyl. No. And again, this is... That was our turn to win then. But because we have absolutely zero investment, there's a lot more Aerodactyls in the format now than maybe there was previous. So it's something to consider when you're adapting the team to, as the meta evolves, we get, you know, different things coming in now. So have to change it up to stay relevant. But now we see the potential Liepard / Zoroark come back. We could see another Psychic or Shadow Ball. The Meganium's very threatening right now. We got Duraludon in the back. Again, I think another Dazzling Gleam is the play here, but we try and cover with a Hurricane. Because, yeah, there's the Sucker Punch, which bit of chip. Unless, no, Zorora can't do Sucker Punch. So there's the Flamethrower in the rain. Not going to be doing much damage. So, yeah, the Dazzling Gleam will pick up the Liepard / Zoroark here. And the Decidueye. And then, yeah, we've got the Tailwind. So there's the Zoroark. So, yeah, maybe not an ideal turn one strategy. Like, yeah, you can catch out some Sneaslers. But then all you've got left in the back is a Liepard knowing likely foul play, which isn't going to be a great offensive endgame for them. So it was the Zoroark we expected. There's the actual Liepard. So yeah, we'll just Dazzling Gleam and Weather Ball that. Well, Hurricane. And they just forfeit. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, having a Liepard endgame's not solid. But, alright, that should take us to Ultra Ball Rank 1. We'll wrap it up there. We'll have a cup of coffee, and we'll come back and see if we can climb through Rank 1 into Masterball. But I hope you've enjoyed. If you do enjoy this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I appreciate your support. Until next time, take care and enjoy. And thank you very much. See ya.